Namaskar. Today,
Namaskar.
today we are exploring the very root of fear itself and how facing death can help you to live more fully and freely. I will be sharing some personal experiences about my own brushes with death when I nearly drowned in the river and the clarity and that experience have given me. My name is Dada Sadananda. I am a yoga monk and meditation teacher. And I'm happy to be here with my friend and colleague, Didi Ananda Devapriya, who also has a lots of experiences to contribute to this discussion from her work running service projects in Romania and around the world. We will be talking about what is really important in life. Didi, welcome and namaskar.
Dada. I've been hearing this story only indirectly through translation. This is one kind of key, vivid moment, I think, for you. You were a new meditator, and please, I really want to hear from you directly. What happened? How did you almost drown? What was going on?
I was very young. I was something like 19, 20 years old. And we went with my dada on rafts to, rafting down the
Mm,
river. And he asked me, uh, there is one kind of duty that you need to do. Whenever the boat is stuck or in some dangerous situation, you have to come out to the bank, and then you have to tie with the rope. You need to tie the raft to the some kind of tree. I said, okay, I can do. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. He said, there will be many wet situations there. I say, okay. After some time, I got so fed up because I'm constantly wet and I'm constantly like, cold and wet. Anyway, I was doing my duty. And one time we really went into a very, the current was extremely strong. And then we went, there was a tree, there was a log across the flow of the river. And then with our boat, we just stuck there. And then the current was so strong so that the current from behind is start to flow because the boat is not moving, it is standing. So the water is flowing over the raft, and very quickly the raft is going down in it's kind of drowning, though even though it is full of air. So everybody is panicking and everybody is shouting to me, "Go, go, please, go quickly, run, tie the boat to the tree." So I start to move and I'm moving on this log, which is across the river. And it is very, like there is some slime there because it is always under the water. So I'm moving and moving carefully, but everybody is encouraging me, move, move. So I start to hurry up and then uh, you know,
lipped.
yeah, slipped. Yeah, I slipped there. And then I go in under the water, and then maybe 40 centimeters under the water, and my hands are still catching the log. And then I'm trying to move, but the force of the current is so strong, I cannot move even 1 inch. My
Mm,
muscles are completely incapable of moving even 1 inch. So, facing that kind of weakness that I cannot move, I thought that maybe I'm going to die now. So maybe I'm going to die. And then I was thinking, am I ready to die or not? I thought, no, it's okay. I live a good life. 20 years old.
mm.
So, yeah, but only two things I'm missing. I think I'm still regretting that. I'm young, I'm dying too young now. And one thing that I'm regretting that I've just received my meditation practice and I have not enjoyed sufficiently that practice. And second thing, I just got a guru. I just got my guru in my life. And I have not enjoyed that fact that I have a guru. The golden age of life just started and I have to die. Why, what is kind of injustice? Why is like that? So
Yeah.
thinking like that, I felt there are four hands catching me, my wrists, and pulling me upwards. So the people eventually they came, they understood, okay, I'm in trouble. So they came from the raft and they took me out of the water. So yeah, and then I was happy and alive after that.
And what, how did you feel that it like actually brought a clarity or changed something for you longer term, that experience?
Mm, no, I don't think not so much. That didn't change so much at that time. Slowly, I think when I meditated more, I start to feel more love for life. And recently also I got into accident and I displaced my shoulder also. We went on the opposite lane of the road, and it was just a
What happened?
millimeter.
Was ice or?
No, we were driving the car, and the car had a different, like the steering wheel is on the other side. It's a Japanese car, and driven in Russia, so it was not supposed to be like that. So once you are sitting from this side, you can control the road. But when you are shooting from that side, sometimes you make mistake. So from both sides, there was us and another car, and another car also had the same situation. So same like Japanese car, no?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then we went very nicely like this on the opposite lane, and then we touch each other with the wheels, but not with the main body of the car, but with the touch with the wheels. And then there was a very extreme heat, and then I was meditating at the time, and I was just like out of meditation. And I turned to the driver. I say, "Are you having an accident?" He said, "Yeah, that's a very much big accident." And then okay, so I come out of the car and I see the car is completely destroyed, complete kaput. And yeah, yeah, but then we're all alive. And then I thought that, yeah, so maybe it is my time now. But I said, no, I didn't enjoy meditation. And I didn't enjoy that fact that I have a guru. So I think at that moment I didn't think, but recently I was sending to you also one song. There was one song like very
mhm.
warrior type of song. Like in Japan, they have the song Sakura, Sakura. Na, na." So there is one song, and it was written at the time where there was a lots of bloodshed in Japan. So the samurai warrior, he's singing this. Yeah, there is a sakura is blossoming. The Japanese cherry is blossoming. So let's go and look. Means maybe tomorrow I'm not alive. Maybe tomorrow I'm not going to have that luxury. So once you have that type of feeling that I may die anytime, it makes you extremely alive. So there is this saying that uh, people live as if they will never die. And when they die as if they have never lived.
Mm.
So in Tantra, death in the West, we hide death. You see, you don't see so much. You don't see anywhere. People are afraid of it. People hide it everywhere. But if you come to India, you will see that death is part of life. Like you see the Varanasi burning guts, they are just. And there's beautiful thing that the children are around this fire and they're putting some, they're managing the fire there, no? And there is no like nobody is getting freaked out about it. So I find it more healthy in life to know that we are all mortal, that one day we are all going to die. So this knowledge that I'm going to die, it gives tremendous intensity of life. Like the song I sent to you, it is a
Mhm.
warrior song, and he says, not for me the river will overflow. Not for me, the spring is coming. Not for me, the heart of the maiden will, beat with, beautiful, exciting feelings. Not for me, in the evening of the Easter, all the family will come together and they will, say the price to the Lord Jesus.
Mm.
So, like he enumerates all the, great experiences of life, the beautiful experience of life, which is full of love, which is full of, joy and happiness. And then he says, but for me, what is for me? For me, the piece of lead will enter into my white body and pierce my heart. And that life is for me. So it sounds like a very sad song, but actually, when you hear that song, you become so happy. Like I was just traveling in a train, and then it was overnight train, and then in the morning I wake up, and my compartment was full of people, no, like six people in one compartment. So I understood I cannot meditate there, so I went into the last bogie of the train, and I found there are some sitting arrangements. So I sit there and I meditate for maybe 1 hour. People are sleeping, I'm meditating, and already I become so high, I become so happy, after that. And then I'm sitting in the local train in Germany and listening to this song over and over again, over and over again. And I feel so blissful, so great. And I'm thinking, why I feel so good? Because I'm alive. When you are experiencing that uh, inevitability of death, that death is coming for you, sooner or later, it is coming. How precious becomes life? Then you really can experience life. If you are forgetting about death, you are already dead. You are physically alive, but spiritually you are dead. You are dead spiritually. So that intensity is gone from your life. That's why the Stoics
Mm.
they say memento mori, remember the death, because that's what makes you alive. Many people they complain. They life, no, 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 I feel depression, I feel this. Or they say, today there is this fashion, to go to psychologists to forgive their parents. This is like such a big nonsense for me. It's whom you're going to forgive? Your parents. Your parents have given you life. Whatever may happen, they have given you life. You're breathing today. So if you experience that intensity, that I will die one day, so every breath becomes so precious. You breathe and it is we don't realize it, but it is so great to live. This experience is hiding behind our discontentment. I want to achieve this and that,
Mm.
but the very simple things, simple process of being alive, like in meditation, you also sit. I'm just sitting and I'm breathing and I'm happy. What else do I need to be happy? Imagine. We had a woman in our village. She was so unhappy with her family, like love affair, what you call the heartbroken. So she was
Mm.
so unhappy because of that. So she decided to quit, and then she took this extreme vinegar essence, like like a very very high voltage, no, very high concentration of vinegar, and then she just drank that acid, you know, trying to leave the world. So, but when she drank it, she just suddenly feel that, oh, I want to live so much. I want to live so much. And then she was praying, she was begging. The doctors came and they tried to, to help her. and but they couldn't help her. Finally, she was no more. But I was very impressed. My grandmother was telling me this story that uh, her desire to live was so strong. You know, what at the moment when she realized what she has done, at the
Mm.
moment when she realized that she is, going to die, at that moment she just grabbed the life like this. I want to live. Please help me. Please save me.
Mm.
So that story is a very tragic story. It's a very tragic story, but when I think about it, how precious is life? How precious is the life? But we just unable to appreciate it. So these very good songs.
The song actually reminds me also in the Native American culture. Yeah, there's this story of Crazy Horse, and he was giving, inspiration and courage to his troops. They did this impossible battle at Little Bighorn, where they were facing many, many troops from the U.S. troops, but they were successful in battle. But his cry to them was, "Today is a good day to die." You know, just having that mindset. Today, I'm ready to face it. Today is a good day to die heroically, to die with courage. It reminds me of the same kind of thing. It's like you're saying, you put yourself in front of the worst thing that can happen, what we usually consider the worst thing that can happen, and see it as like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, that's one aspect of it, acceptance. But another aspect is that when you are able to think about it, then you start to really live. You start to appreciate life.
Absolutely.
Life. Yeah.
I felt that after the times that I've also been close to death have been when I've been alongside people that are dying in their
Mm.
last moments, right? And seeing actually that transition happen. And for quite some time after that, I'm just so aware of how precious and limited life is, because we live life in a just feeling like, especially when you're young, the younger you are, the more you feel you've got unlimited space ahead of you. And you're not thinking about it so much. After I had these experiences, two people in particular very close to me, one was just living around the corner from me in Romania. And I knew from the moment I met her that she was dying, because the first conversation that we had, I didn't speak any Romanian. I was mostly just guessing, but she was explaining to me, and I kind of understood the gist of it, that she just discovered a cancer. I didn't understand exactly where it was, but I understood it was cancer, and that she wasn't going to operate it. She survived another 12 years. And I've never seen someone go through so many different shades of suffering. Um, and, uh, and yet she had so much desire to live. And also, when she left, yeah, I think it just left me with this feeling of preciousness of life. And it also started making me think, like, okay, life is actually limited.
Mm.
What do I really want to do with my life? Like, what's still in front of me? But it was good. I mean, I felt really honored to be there by her side. I felt from that moment when she told me that maybe my role in her life would be to be there for her in that moment. And really, just by miracle, I was able to be there. I travel a lot, but the moment when it actually happened, I was right there for the last breath. And she opened her eyes. She'd been in a coma, and she opened her eyes and she looked at me. And there was this look of fear for a moment. Yeah. And then I just told her, I reminded her of our mantra. I reminded her to just remember you are that light, and I just repeated her mantra. There was no one else in the room. And I just gave her that guidance. And then she closed her eyes, and her face became so full of light, so relaxed, so blissful, as you could hear the pulse monitor kind of going out of control. But then when it stopped, like there was just such a beautiful light expression on her face of freedom, of peace. It was so inspiring, actually. Like, I felt really good having been able to be there for her in that moment. Everybody else was freaking out. That's also why they all left the room. But they saw what happened and they were also really touched and moved and kind of grateful. Yeah, it was really touching. You, I think, were also present for death. You've also been, were you there for your father when he died?
Not directly. My father was, but no, I didn't witness the very moment.
Mm. And how was it for you afterwards?
Well, he was sick, so I felt relieved, actually. I felt like finally his suffering is ended, and uh, yeah. It's just like in our, there is one ceremony that we do, the Shraddha
Mm.
ceremony. So in that ceremony, our guru, he has collected the most powerful words, for the occasion. Like he says that today, our beloved such and such is uh, far away, and may the all merciful will of the Supreme, something like that, no? Give him better and better birds. And
Mm.
uh, and now we are free from all the responsibility for him, and he has done all the responsibilities for us. So these are very big, ideas that because many people when somebody dies, they feel guilt. I'm living, I'm surviving, but somebody is no more. They feel also fear. They have to confront their own mortality.
Mm.
And they feel also fear for the person, what is going to happen to him. So all these fears and all these pains, our guru he addresses with, those words that we repeat at the Shraddha ceremony. So I find that I was doing several of such ceremonies, and I find always very light after that. Many people they just feel they're crying, and they feel very, good-hearted after that, because
Mm.
it's such a words that heal the heart.
Yeah, it is. It's deeply healing.
Mm.
Yeah, and in our practice, I think you were talking about Varanasi and the cremation grounds, and actually in India, people who do tantric meditation are kind of considered creepy, because
Mm.
there's this impression, oh, they go and they do meditation in the graveyards, and what's the deeper reason behind that?
Yeah, that's to become alive, to go, to confront death, to be surrounded by death, and like Tandava, every disciples, no, of our tradition, they male, they can do Tandava, and Tandava symbolism is very clear. There is a skull, human skull, either physical or imaginary, and then there is a dagger also. So the right hand represents struggle, life, and left hand represents death. So death is always near, always there with you. So if you love that death, that sometime it's going to come for me, you will love life also. So
Yeah.
that's very important. It makes you really alive. It makes you very uh, appreciative of what you have.
Yeah, actually, I'd studied art history, and there's like this, in particular, Saint Jerome, but I think several of the saints, where they always depict him like staring at a skull. So they look pretty morbid, these paintings.
Mm.
But so I think there's this tradition, you can find it in many cultures, the kind of contemplation of mortality is what that's about. The Buddhist culture also has its variation. Yeah, many different cultures are the deeper spiritual mystical experience somehow related to confronting, accepting, contemplating mortality, not to just be like depressed about it, but
Yeah.
actually to live.
Yeah, that's why the saying, like people are living as they will never die, as if they will never die.
Yeah.
And when they are dying as if they never lived. Because when you are dying, suddenly, when you're finally confronted with death, suddenly you realize how precious is this life. And you realize that I have not lived. I have not lived. I have not enjoyed this life. I have not, it's not enough. Come on, I'm just understanding now how precious this life is.
Will it ever be enough?
I think at some point, I think we first of all we are made to die. So we are our bodies are mortal, and there is a mechanism in us that we become peaceful. You know, just like when we are dying. It's the nature already embedded in us this mechanism. So I think if we have lived good life, uh, righteous life, you know, full of adventures and spirituality and service, I'm pretty sure that while dying, we will be peaceful.
What do you think about near-death experiences?
Um, exactly what should I think about them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like you hear, recently when I was in Italy and we were doing a training, we watched a video about people who had these near-death experiences, means like they had actually clinically already been pronounced dead. Yeah. And and then there's kind of a universal pattern to it, of feeling some kind of tunnel, an intense feeling of love coming from a luminous, radiant source of light, and feeling like, actually, most people don't want to go back.
Hmm.
They feel such a comforting, feeling of love. There's sometimes a moment also of a life review where they're kind of as if seeing their whole, certain moments of their life. They're they're seeing the whole thing in front of them. But what's interesting is that they seem to come back with, when they do come back, it's with a sense of service, and the other thing that's pretty universal in these experiences is that there's no fear of death anymore. No
Mhm.
fear. Like they realize it's a beautiful experience.
Well, I don't think there is no fear at all. I think it diminishes your fear, but still, I think it doesn't matter how many times we die, we will still be afraid of that because that's the very nature, no, of our body. And like it sounds very similar, like going into samadhi, seeing the light and all these things. I've
Exactly.
experienced those states, but and then yes, at that moment you understand you are fearless. But then time passes and then you still feel, yeah, I like to live.
Liking to live, I don't, is that in contradiction with being fearful of death? Can you love to live and not be so fearful of death?
Yeah, I think if you are constantly in a state of samadhi, yeah, even then,
Constantly.
even then, even then, it's still like many times when person goes into samadhi, there is this fear comes in that, oh no, this is too great an experience, and the ego at that moment just pops up and it's like, no, 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 I'm not ready for
I'm
this.
not ready. Yeah.
Stop, 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 stop. You know, this is yeah, but then it is already taking over you, and you are going into that stance, and but the ego is panicking at that moment. So, and then that's only one thing, but then imagine Kalpa Samadhi, when the very sense of I has to disappear, and there is a great attachment for that sense of I. As long as I will exist, this form or that form, maybe not in a physical form, but I will exist as a consciousness, as a still my I will exist, will still be existing. But when the very I is getting challenged, the very I
Mm,
has to disappear and merge with the cosmic, with the divine. Uh, yeah, it produces great fear. That's why this final stage is not possible without devotion, without an extreme love for God and extreme trust to God. At the last point, the person will just say, no, I cannot. Like, the Lord of the Rings,
Mm.
he will say, no, this ring is mine, my precious. The ring is the ego. Yeah.
Oh, elaborate on that. I don't understand exactly your interpretation.
Yeah, like the Frodo is carrying the ring to destroy
Okay.
it. So we do sadhana whole life to finally obliterate the ego. Yeah, but then when you reach, you say, no, no, this is my precious.
Okay.
I
What
cannot.
does happen? Does he manage to throw it in?
No, he didn't manage. Then finally, this creature, Golem, he had to jump on him, and then he took it, and then he destroyed to give it himself.
Gollum did.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I do feel that when I started practicing meditation, and I'd been aware of, did you ever read the Tibetan Book of the Death of the Dead?
I think I read some part of it, but I have not. A long time ago. I had
Yeah, it
not.
was also a long time
I
ago,
didn't.
but
I didn't study it. Yeah.
I read it, and what struck me about it was just that at every stage, the there were different visions coming. It's describing different bardo states, different kinds of visions and things that appear in this in between stage as the consciousness is maybe processing uh, and leaving the body. But that each stage, whatever was happening, the reminder is the same. Remember the clear light.
Mm.
Like remember the truth. Like don't get caught up in the illusion. Like wake up. Remember. Yeah, which is like even in life, this is relevant. Wake up and remember the truth. Um, and when I came across our meditation and started practicing it, I realized at some point, like, you don't, you know, need to go through this complex and complicated process of memorizing this whole Tibetan Book of the Dead, because just the practice of meditation, you're constantly training yourself to merge into that consciousness. Yeah. And even if you don't have any spectacular spiritual experience while you're in this body right now, at some point you're going to pass through that doorway, that gateway. And if you've been training for it, and you're kind of like, we know we have this saying that we say at the end of meditation that reminds you, it's a sure guarantee if your like mind has been trained that you're going to go into that state of mukti, that state of liberation, and not as a dogma, because that was at first confusing to me, but like, like, oh, if you follow this, you're automatically going to get liberation. But actually just kind of a fact, like if you keep training yourself, then your mind's whatever at that moment, your mind goes uh, where it's been habituated. Yeah. And if you've been training like that, then you have no resistance. It's easy to like identify yourself with the light. You don't have all of this. Normally, it's such a big challenge to kind of withdraw your mind from the distractions of the body, you know, and to truly feel yourself as something more than body. But in that moment, nature's helping you. Nature's like releasing you from that bondage. And so just directing the mind in the right place, and you will get to experience that feeling of samadhi, merger, union. Yeah. How do you think people can use this in their daily life to live better?
Yeah, I think in meditation, I teach something similar. Like
Hmm.
I teach this appreciation of life. That you sit there, you're sitting in a posture, you're not achieving anything, you're not attaining anything. You are at first feel uh, that I just simply sit, I simply breathe, and I'm already happy. Just this
Yeah.
very fact of being alive makes me happy. This Mahat Tattva, in the mind, there are three stages of the mind. There is Mahat Tattva, Aham Tattva, and Chitta.
Mm,
So, Chitta is the objective mind, the mind which takes the shape of your thinking. I see an elephant. So, the elephant part is your Chitta. The mind forms an image of an elephant. So in that portion of the mind in which the image of the elephant is formed is called chitta. So second stage of the mind is I see an elephant. So the seeing is ahamkara or ego portion of the mind.
mm,
And then there is mahatattva, I. So I see an elephant. So an elephant is chitta, seeing is aham tattva, and I is mahat tattva. So
mm,
subtlest portion of the mind is I, and that how to find that I, how to find that I within yourself. Follow the happiness, the joy of existence. That I doesn't perform any actions. Is just a core of existence, and that I is constantly happy. And what kind of happiness is that? It's not a happiness of pleasure. There is no pleasure, there is no pain there, but there is joy of being alive, of being, in existence.
mm,
So that's Mahatattva. So in meditation, I advise people, I guide people there. Go there. I am sitting, I am breathing, I'm breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out, and I am feeling happy. I'm breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in, and I am feeling happy. I'm breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out, and I am feeling happy. So this is the beginning of meditation. It's very important to get it done right.
mm.
Then you will feel it in your life. You'll move through the forest, you will feel that happiness, that joy.
Yeah, everything is coming out of that same peaceful, kind of blissful joy. All right, you've got some questions here. We have one from uh, Thomas World 2076. And he's asking, is it possible to consciously leave the body?
Yeah, great yogis, they do.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think Yogananda was an example.
Yeah. Um, there is a siddhi comes from perpetual remembrance of the mantra.
Mm,
So one siddhi is that you cannot die uh, without your permission. So basically, you know exactly when is my death is coming. You are not going to die just suddenly. You know exactly when is my time due. So you live in full awareness. You understand this is the time, and you are living at that time. So by constant repetition of Ishta mantra is the mantra which is given in initiation by a qualified teacher. So when you acquire that ability to constantly repeat and remember the mantra, nothing can happen which is unconscious because you are always constantly aware of spirituality. So nothing can happen just unconsciously,
mm,
suddenly to you. You
like
know,
by
like,
accident.
I
Mm,
tell you the story. There was one man, he was visiting our Sweden training center 20 years ago when I was student there. So he was telling about his father. His father was sadhaka, he practiced meditation. And then just father is calling, hey son, come, I need to see you. So they all came, the big family, all together. And father, what have happened? Why you summoned all of us? He said, I am about to die. I'm going to die. So I want to see you all before I die. And they say, but you look very healthy. Why you should die? They say, no, no, no. It's my time have come. And I see already in my other spiritual eyes, I see the Guru has come here to greet me on the other side. So then they didn't take it really seriously. They did Dharma Chakra, they did collective meditation, they did Guru Puja. First, he spoke with all of them. He did all different advice, all the, like sorted all the things, before he's leaving. And then they did meditation, and they did Guru Puja, the final completion of meditation. And then in Guru Puja, you do Sashtang Pranam. No? You prostrate yourself on the ground. And he said that from that Sashtang Pranam, he never rose up.
Wow.
He just he prostrated himself in front of the picture of the Guru, and that's his heart. He stopped at that moment.
Wow.
And he said after 2 years, exactly the same thing happened with our mother. Mother called and said, "Children, I want to see you one last time. Please come." So they all came. The mother, spoke some good things to them, and then they sat for meditation. They did Guru Puja, and then in Guru Puja she prostrated, and then she never rose from that state of.
Wow.
Yeah, that's inspiring. That's how I want to die also.
Amazing.
Yeah, no drama, nothing. Just pure, really pure life.
Yeah. Yeah. Not particularly like in suffering or sick and just letting go. Beautiful. We have here a question from Adam Norris, 6101. And I want to ask, what will it take to become enlightened? How achievable is this state? And are there people who have achieved this state walking the earth today? Please talk about this. Thank you both.
I don't think it is easy. I don't think it's too difficult. And I don't think it really depends on us so much. I find it is the grace of God, finally. So, what we work, we prepare our body and we prepare our mind to receive that grace. So, the body, because that is the high energy, so body needs to be able to sustain that kind of current of energy in us for the enlightenment. So we need to work on the body, we need to work on the mind, and slowly, slowly, this enlightenment comes. So what is the enlightenment? Enlightenment is enlightenment. So you become full of light. You become basically your reality become full of light. And um, as the mind expands, you start seeing the God everywhere. Everywhere. You feel that closeness to Him in you, in others, everywhere. So that, and then enlightenment, many people, they think of the sudden enlightenment, just suddenly it happens. Just give up your ego and enlightenment will happen. I don't believe in this concept. It will never happen like this. If you want to turn a piece of ice into vapor, you have to give energy to it. So the piece of ice first you will give by warming it up, you will make it into water. And then by warming it up further, you will make it into vapor. So the crude mind will become subtle if you give energy to it. The subtle mind will turn into consciousness if you give energy to it. And you give energy by doing meditation and by repeating the mantra, the Ishta mantra. So that's how you achieve enlightenment. And then that's such a straightforward process. You never worry, are there a boiling kettle in this world or not? Is it true that kettle can boil? Yeah, it's true. You just need to give electricity to the kettle, and the kettle will hit the water, and the water will boil. So it is kind of inevitability, but at the same time, because it is an inevitability, you don't have to worry and you don't have to panic and don't have to stress about it. Do your job. Don't like, oh, when I'm going to achieve enlightenment. I'm meditating almost 1 month. I have still not achieved. Yeah.
I was
So
like this.
yeah, so that becomes like, what is this restlessness? Everything comes in time. Like you put the seed in the ground. If you remove the soil just to see whether this seed has already sprouted and has grown, you're not helping this seed to grow. You cover this seed with earth, keep watering it, and then it will come. It will come, it will sprout, it will come, it will become a tree from the seed. So similarly, uh, you receive the seed of enlightenment, and the seed of enlightenment is your initiation, your first personal lesson of meditation. Just keep doing it, and then the enlightenment will come. And that is it will come in a very sure way. It's not anything. You don't have to worry anything. It will come. For sure it will come. So regarding is there any people on earth today? I think we are to some extent, we can say, we are to some extent enlightened because we experience so many different experiences of light, of being light, of being infinite. And we also experience the different experiences just as I move in the forest, I see God everywhere. It's like you are looking, and God is not hidden. He's just so big, so you cannot see.
Mm.
Because when you look at the painting, you see only, if you look like this, you see only one tiny little bit of paint there. You cannot see the picture, you cannot understand the picture. To understand the picture, you need to go a little bit far and they see the entire picture. So similarly, when we exist in this world of God, which is full of God, but with a small mind, the small mind only can see one little thing, like a blind man. They were examining the elephant, and some said elephant is like a big pillar. Another one said elephant is like touching the tail. Elephant is just like a rope. Another was, touching the ear. Elephant is just like a, big plant with big leaf like this, describing him. And then they were all arguing with each other, but none has seen the entire elephant because they couldn't see it. They didn't have that capacity to embrace the entire image. So once the mind grows, then this world, which is today, seems like a material chaos. Once the mind grows, you perceive this world as a very evident, as a very clear image of God.
I really like the metaphor you gave of the ice melting and then needing more energy to also turn into vapor. And actually, I asked this question when I had the opportunity to be in front of one of our advanced sadhakas. Maybe you also met him, Dada Sadananda. And I'd been reading a lot of Zen literature where they do talk about enlightenment as a sort of lightning flash experience. And that was my impression, that it's something that just hits you and permanently transforms you, changes everything, like what was before and what was after, completely different. And so I asked him this question because it was sort of well known in our circles that he was falling into these high states of samadhi when he meditated. I witnessed it myself. And I asked him, like, when did you get enlightened? And he was so sweet. He's so humble, but he just laughed at me. He laughed and he said, well, it's not quite like that. He said, it's something very gradual. And then he said in such a kind and very like empathic and reassuring way, he just said, look, you just practice your sadhana. If you continue to practice twice a day, follow everything, do twice a day meditation, then after 5 years, you will have this experience. You will hear this sound, you will have this experience. Then after 10 years, you will have this experience. I'm like, 5 years, 10 years. But I mean, on the one level, I think I was like kind of what you're describing. Like I was thinking, hey, it's been a month or two. When is this enlightenment going to happen? There was this an intensity in a way, but also this expectation, like it could happen any moment. And it put a much more realistic framework on me, I think. Like just so this is something that is going to happen. It happens gradually. It doesn't happen in a flash. It happens slowly, exactly like that image that you gave of just adding this energy, that the ice doesn't just suddenly, turn into steam. Like you just have to keep applying that energy to it steadily, steadily, steadily. And it's this conversion and transformation process, because that's exactly the feeling I got from him. It was just, keep going and you're going to have these experiences and it's going to come. He also explained in the beginning, it's just a tiny little flash. You just get for a fraction of a second. He says, you've already felt it, a fraction of a second where you tune into that. And he says, and then you're able to hold it almost a second, and then, you're just stretching this really, because to get the mind to actually stay in one point, even for 1 second, is really hard. And that's the feeling that he gave me. It's just you're actually trying to get your mind to stay still for a very small amount of time, actually, and that it's a very gradual process, and that you're going to get there. You just have to keep going. Let's see. You've got someone else here who's saying that they are, let's see, his name is Kaustuv TB. And he's 21 years old. He's been listening to spiritual songs, does meditation twice a day. And he says, sometimes I feel I didn't do anything significant. This thought hurt me. A few months ago, I got third lesson, practicing, enjoying life, but sometimes I really feel emptiness. What should I do? So he's like, sounds like he's doing all the right things, but still there's a feeling of emptiness.
Yeah, emptiness means lack of love. So bliss comes with love. So once we start loving ourselves, start loving others, start loving God, that's what fuels emptiness.
Mm.
Yeah, and then as we said, this gradual movement, it is all gradual. I find for myself very important to like a poetry, like something that will focus me on some higher idea. Yeah, when I think about myself, that's the way to become empty. If I think anything about myself, my future, my this, my that, that's what makes unhappy.
Mm.
Yeah, but when I start thinking about some great, inspiring idea, what I will do for others, then that starts filling me up. Or just like I was listening, this song, and keep listening it again and again, appreciating love, loving life, being grateful for life. That fills me up. There are songs, Prabhat Samgit. He said, I listen to Prabhat Samgit, but listen is not enough. You have to learn Prabhat Samgit. You have to learn and you have to feel every word of this Prabhat Samgit. Taste every word. That when you are singing, you really understand what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, such things. I think what really fills up something when you do with love, with kindness, with love, this helps. When you do meditation with love, it helps also. Not simply you're just there like a dry yogi, the heart like a desert. But you are a loving person. You feel the living presence of Supreme is now with me, now, now, now. Every mantra I repeat, he listens. So just feel this. As I repeat the mantra, he listens. Feel that connection. that living connection. Now, at this moment, I'm just connected now. He is with me. He is never away from me, always with me. So this kind of feeling, it fills you up. And yeah, service, the actions of kindness, aesthetics, the beauty. The beauty is so extremely important, because what is the beauty? It is nothing but it is God. It's the beauty is formless. It doesn't have any form. So artists and musicians, they're trying to express that formless, matchless beauty through the form. So when in the form you experience the beauty, that's called Nandana Vigyana, the science of aesthetics or science of bliss. So when you are trying to experience the beauty through the media of the organs, the eyes, the ears, nose, tongue, that is the Nandana Vigyana, that's the aesthetic science. And when you are trying to experience the beauty without the organs, that is Mohan Vigyana or supra-aesthetic science. When you're within your own consciousness, you're experiencing that beauty, cherishing that beauty and experiencing that beauty within your own consciousness without help of any organs. That is the supra-aesthetic science. And you're enjoying that beauty. So aesthetics, supra-aesthetics, service, Prabhat Samgit, what else I was saying? Love. Love. When you do with love. Because to yoga, to do yoga, yoga means union. To unite, there must be love. Without love, cannot be unite. You cannot make two things one without love. Impossible. They will always remain two. They will not remain one thing. There has to be love. There must be love. So in meditation, when just you remember that you are sitting in meditation, you are not doing some ascetics, this and that. You just feel I'm here to love. Sit with this. Close your eyes. Feel the presence. Always, always with you, that presence. And love it. And be loved also. Feel that this presence also loves you. And you also love. So if you're in that mood, you will feel. And then sometimes also karma. What to do? Karma, we have to go through karma. We have to go through suffering, which is due to the reactions to the actions that we have done in the past. So sometimes we don't feel that happiness. The mind becomes crude because of the samskara. So then just wait. It will pass. After some time, it will pass. Maybe today you feel you are very materialistic. Maybe today you feel you are very not spiritual, but you are very spiritual. You just wait, and you will see uh, how beautiful beauty beautifully unfolds itself.
Can I just add one thing? I think you hit all of the key points. There's also, I think, a bit of a hint here in what he wrote himself. He says, I still sometimes feel I didn't do anything significant. And you were talking about how when you focus on yourself, that's when you get empty. But when you're focusing on others, that's when you get full. And sounds to me like also it's a question of, he hasn't yet experienced a feeling or connected to a sense of purpose higher than just the individual sense of purpose, being part of like a bigger feeling of like having a mission in life, connecting to something that gives that sense of purpose. And that's ultimately boiling back down to everything that you said, love, how to bring that love, how to express that. Because I'm thinking of how we have this two triangles that intertwine and create balance, and if he's doing all of the internal practices but still not feeling something, maybe it's like then you look at how can you make your life more for others, not trying to get but trying to give.
Yeah, but also it depends, like you shouldn't become like an achiever or something like that, because
Mm.
that's also empty thing. The action which is uh, has inner substance, that what fills you up. And then
What do
for everyone is different. Somebody means sometimes we dream of doing something significant, to be Napoleon or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be for you that you have to become a Napoleon. Uh, there is a movement in the heart when you wake up, when you feel like, yeah, I should do this. It's like a calling from divine. And then yeah, I should do it. And then you do it, but you don't do it. Because why? Because you are afraid. Why are you afraid? Because you don't love and you don't trust. So, and the fear becomes stronger than that calling. So when you surrender to the fear, then the emptiness comes. But when in your mind, you feel, I should do this, and then every comes so many if and buts. No, 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 no. But I would love to do this, but. So, and then, yeah, so that's golden opportunity is lost. How you feel happiness when you expand? How do you expand? First stage is idea. You get the idea what I should do. And second stage, you have to manifest that idea. And that at the second stage, you have to struggle with fear. With fear. At the first stage, you have to struggle to find an idea. Like the crude idea has to become subtle. That's the subtle portion of Tantra. You are attempting to rise your Kundalini. You are attempting to rise your energy. To come with some subtler idea. Like my boss, he tells me sometimes. He say, Sadananda, if you have this idea, it comes directly from God. I say,
Mm.
how you know that? He say, because no crazy person will visualize this kind of idea to do for others, not to do for yourself. So if this idea comes to your mind, it means already God is gracing you with this idea. It means your mind subtle that can perceive this calling of God. So that is subtle portion of Tantra. When you do sadhana and you're trying to rise your consciousness, you try to really feel subtler and subtler and subtler. And in that subtle mind, the seed of progress comes as the will of God. And then second stage starts crude portion of Tantra. So at the first stage, you have to fight with your enemies. Enemies of the soul. Who are the enemies of the soul? Greed, lust, anger, jealousy, pride, attachment. So those feelings and those thoughts when you cannot have subtler expression in your mind. So once you fought over them and you replace those things with love, with inspiration inside of you, then the crude portion of Tantra comes. You have to fight with the fear because you say, yes, I will do it, but, but, and then, but you struggle. And then I will do it, and I will do it, and I will do it, and I have done it. So that is the progress. And when you move on the path of progress, it is the same as the path of bliss. If you are sitting in fear, you are not in the path of bliss. You are there with your fear. You are loving your fear. You're not loving your destiny. You're not loving your goal.
Why are people afraid?
Because we are afraid of death.
Yes, back to the beginning.
Yeah. We are afraid, and then there are this fear of death become multitude of fears. Like it becomes the fear of poverty, one. Another comes fear of failure. Another comes fear of rejection. Another comes fear to express yourself, yeah, and to be, judged. Fear not to express yourself and to be unnoticed. So many fears. They all come from that major fear of death.
How?
Like fear of rejection. If you are rejected, let's say 10,000 years by your tribe, what's going to happen to you? You die. So in this way, everything is rooted in that most powerful emotion, which is the fear of death.
So if we can confront it and overcome it, we would be more free.
Oh, we would be great. We would be not only free, we would be totally holy.
What do you think? Even, I mean, this is not a spiritual teacher, but Steve Jobs, I sent it to you today. Remembering that you're going to die is the best way to know, I know, to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Any comment?
Yeah, good thought. That's yeah. We will die anyway, so why bother? Why don't I even I at least I try? I'm going to die anyway today or after 40 years. So what?
Oh, one last little personal thing I'd like to share. I remember when my father was dying, and he gave me a call at one point, and he told me, you know, uh, he'd started doing a practice that my uncle gave him of the Book of the Hours. It's a Christian prayer. And he said, and you have something like to read every day and to do every day. And he talked about how he went downstairs in the morning when it was quiet, looked at the river outside of the house, and he just got so much bliss just from repeating
Mm,
these prayers. And he's saying, only now I realize how I really have just, I had, I did so many things, but I didn't love God enough.
mm,
you know, now I'm realizing that this is the only thing that's really important. And he said,
mm,
you know what I realized is God's not some person, it's just love. And I
mm,
was so touched. He was asking me, what do I think of this? And I'm like,
mm,
remember that mantra that you didn't like hearing so much?
mm,
That's what that means. But his
mm.
experience was much more profound and fresh. You could just feel like, for me also, I feel the a spiritual experience is sounds dumb when you actually verbalize it. It sounds obvious. It doesn't sound, because it's just that you're realizing how true the truth is, and he was just realizing in that moment God as love, and he was realizing this is the most important thing to do. I found it really touching.
Yeah, beautiful. Sounds very nice.
Yeah, it was really inspiring. I felt he approached his death in like just the right way. He was like, I would like to live. I'll admit it. I really would love to live more. And I hope, and he did everything he could, tried all the treatments and all of this, he says. But if God decides that it's my time, then I'm ready, and I just thought, wow, I hope that's the attitude that I would like to have too. Just ready, but also loving and appreciating every moment that you have. And that's that clarity that comes when you're facing, what did you call it again? The Stoics call it memento mori.
Memento mori.
Yeah, thought of death.
Remember about death.
Yeah.
Remember your mortality. You're mortal. And that's the beauty of it. You see, we are mortal in a way, but also immortal in another way. So this mortality, it really gives us a very sharp appreciation of life.
The permanence of impermanence, I think the Buddhists talk about. No, like the only thing that's permanent is that nothing is permanent.
Mhm. Yeah. So appreciate every
Incredible.
moment. It will not return this moment.
Yeah.
So be hungry for this, thirsty for this, for life. That's the way to live. That's what I understand.
Beautiful. I don't think there's more to say. I think that was a perfect conclusion. Thank you, Dada.
Yeah, thank you, Didi, and see you again, as
Namaskar.
usually, on Monday. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.